In an irresistible moment, Brooke and Ridge got closer to each other. It seemed that the attraction between them was still as strong as before, leading them to share an emotional kiss. However, what they didn't know was that Taylor, a woman who was always torn between love and resentment towards Ridge, was standing outside the door and witnessed everything. Taylor, with her heart full of hurt and insecurity, couldn't help but eavesdrop on the conversation and saw that kiss. Those images hit her heart hard, triggering a chain of events that no one could have predicted. As soon as she saw that scene, Taylor felt a deep pain in her heart. The emotions that had been suppressed for many years suddenly rose up, causing her heart rate to speed up rapidly. Her hand trembled as she placed it on her chest, trying to control the panicked beating of her heart. The feeling of suffocation and loss of control took over Taylor's body. Everything seemed to spin before her eyes. The images became blurry and she felt her body reacting abnormally. This was not only an emotional pain, but also a warning sign of her health condition. Suddenly, Taylor could no longer maintain her composure, and her body collapsed to the ground. A loud noise rang out, causing Ridge to jump and quickly turn his head. The noise was so loud and unexpected that Ridge immediately left Brooke, leaving behind mixed emotions, and rushed to where Taylor lay motionless. He could not believe his eyes when he saw the woman he once loved so deeply collapse before him. Everything seemed to stop in a moment of confusion and fear. Ridge tried to shake Taylor awake, shouting her name in the hope of getting some kind of response. But it seemed that all his efforts were in vain. With no sign of Taylor waking up, Brooke, who had witnessed the horrific scene from behind, immediately called the emergency services. Worry was evident on both of their faces, as time seemed to slow down in the tense moments. Brooke couldn't help but wonder if this was a ploy from Taylor to get Ridge's attention, but it was clear that the situation was getting much more serious. When the ambulance arrived and took Taylor to the hospital, Ridge still couldn't quite come to his senses. He felt like he was living in a nightmare. Memories of Taylor, what they had experienced together, now flooded back like a flood, and he didn't know how to deal with his emotions. At the hospital, the news from the doctor hit everyone hard. Taylor had had a heart attack, and it wasn't a random event. Her heart failure was terminal, something no one could have predicted. Doctors warn that Taylor needs an immediate heart transplant if she is to survive. Her heart failure has reached a stage where there is no other treatment that can help her other than a heart transplant. The condition has been slowly progressing over the years, and it has now reached its most dangerous stage. Ridge and his family are advised to prepare for the worst, as Taylor may not have much time left. Despair grips the entire family, especially Ridge, who now has to face the reality that the woman he still loves deeply may be gone from him forever if no miracle occurs. This situation will leave Ridge with a difficult choice. Will he continue to be with Brooke, the woman he kissed last night, or will he return to Taylor in her final days? Ridge is devastated when he hears that Taylor has terminal heart failure. Ridge couldn't believe that a strong and resilient woman like Taylor was battling such a serious illness, and his thoughts were in turmoil. Thinking back to the times Taylor had reminded him of the value of every moment with his family, Ridge gradually realized that Taylor had known about his condition all along. Her words about cherishing time with loved ones now felt more painful and heavy than ever. Taylor once told Ridge, "We can't predict the future, so every moment is precious." Ridge now understands better that Taylor has been sending a secret goodbye. She knows that death is coming, and that's why she always tries to enjoy every moment with her family. This makes Ridge extremely heartbroken, because he knows that time with Taylor is counting down every day. Given Taylor's condition, Ridge decides to be with Taylor for the rest of her life, no matter what else happens. He doesn't want to leave her alone in her last days. This decision comes not only from sympathy, but also from the love he has for Taylor. A love that, although changed over time, still exists in him. Ridge decides to take care of Taylor, bring her back home, and create the warmest memories possible, even if it's just for a short time. This puts Ridge in a difficult situation, having to balance the past and present between Taylor and Brooke. Brooke's appearance in this emotional picture puts things into a more tense situation than ever. Brooke, who has always believed that Ridge and she have found their way back to each other, cannot accept Ridge leaving her to go back to Taylor. She sees Ridge's decision as a betrayal of their current relationship, which not only hurts Brooke, but also increases her fear and jealousy. She understands that Taylor is an important woman in Ridge's life, but Ridge choosing Taylor in his final days makes Brooke feel abandoned, and this sparks an explosion between them. Tensions escalate when Brooke and Ridge confront each other. In a heated argument, Brooke expresses her disappointment and feelings of betrayal. She criticizes Ridge for not respecting their relationship, why he chose to be with a woman on the brink of death instead of the woman he promised to build a future with. Ridge, meanwhile, can't say anything but admit that he still loves Taylor, and he can't turn his back on her in her final moments. This argument is emotional and dramatic. Neither of them will give in. Brooke feels threatened and deeply hurt. Ridge, despite loving Brooke, can't change his decision. He needs to be with Taylor, and that's the only thing he can do in this situation. Brooke's jealousy and insecurity grow. She's afraid of losing Ridge again, especially when he's choosing to be with Taylor. Dark thoughts begin to creep into Brooke's mind. She wonders, would things be easier without Taylor? Dangerous thoughts begin to appear in Brooke's mind. She can't let Ridge leave her again, and the fear of losing the man of her life may push her to unimaginable limits. Brooke's psychological stress is escalating, and this may lead her to choose the most dangerous path. Can she overcome these negative emotions, or will her desperation turn Brooke into a woman willing to do anything, including destroying others' lives, to protect her love?